QHHT is short for Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique, and it's a form of hypnosis which was developed by the incredible Dolores Cannon about 50 years ago. If you Google Dolores, you'll find stacks of information about her. She's passed now, but she has written 27 books, mostly about hypnosis and about her travels through past lives with her clients. Incredible work, so if you are interested, then do take a look at her. But the technique was originally created to help people with struggles, and then slowly during her career she developed a technique to work through past lives and then to work on the subconscious mind, again to help people with struggles they're having in their lives. And the technique over the period of time since she developed it hasn't changed massively. When we do the training, we're all trained to carry out the technique in exactly the same way. The script is exactly the same for all of us. We can't deviate in any way whatsoever, because the wording of the script has been developed in the way that allows us to take a person into a very deep level of relaxation, moving into trance, and then moving on to the subconscious. So the hypnosis technique is slightly different to what you would find if you went to somebody to help you with a habit, for example, stop smoking, or to help with weight loss. This is a different level of hypnosis. It's a lot deeper, and it will be close to the level of relaxation that you go into just before you go to sleep and just before you wake up. So it's a level of relaxation that we're all very familiar with, but what we're not familiar with is having somebody else induce that level of relaxation. So that's what the actual therapy is. The way it works is that I would take somebody into a level of relaxation. We'd move through certain areas of the script. We'd do protection work around that person to make sure that they were aware that they were in a safe space and everything that they saw wouldn't harm them in any way. And then we do some visualizations. We go to a beautiful place. I'd ask you to see certain things in your mind, a white bird, a yellow car, and these trigger you to allow your creative mind to create pictures. Because that level of your creativity, that place in your mind where you can create the pictures, if you meditate, then visualizations that's where we go to with this kind of work. That part of your mind is where the memories are stored. It's also the part of the mind which creates the pictures when you're dreaming. So again, it's a very usual, natural state for you to be in, but slightly unusual insofar as you're in a space with a therapist. So once we've worked through getting you into a level of relaxation, you've imagined your beautiful place, then I ask you to move on to a cloud. You move on to a cloud, you come off of the cloud, and then the first place you go to will be your very first life. And people go into that life straight away. As long as they're in the right level of relaxation, they will immediately go into their first life. There's a lot of other work surrounding that, but I won't go into it now. So when we move into the first life, I'll ask you questions about yourself. What are you wearing? Are you holding anything? Are you wearing any jewellery? Take a look around you. Where do you live? What's the environment like? What's the architecture like? Show me your family. I mean, obviously this takes a very long time, but these are the places that we go to within the hypnosis. We'll move all the way through that life, going to certain important days that you may have experienced during that life, days that you consider to be important. And then we'll move to the end of the life. And I do take you through the death process, which sounds frightening, but it really isn't. You watch the death process completely as an observer, but we need to go through the death process in order to get you to another life. So we go through the death process, then you have the opportunity to look back on your whole life as an observer. And I ask you the question, what was the purpose of that life? And you will give me your answer. And the answers are usually very beautiful, simple things like learning to love, learning to be loved, learning to forgive, very beautiful. Then we move on to the next life, exactly the same thing. Usually people go through 3 or 4 lives, although I have had clients who have gone through 6 or 7 lives, that they're quite short. The lives are not always human. They can be off-planet beings, they can be animals, lots of different varieties. Anything that has a soul, which most things do, then that soul will have an opportunity to have a life. So we work through all of those lives, and then at the end of those lives, I will speak directly with your subconscious mind. When I speak with your subconscious mind, I have the opportunity to ask you all the questions that you have brought to me as a therapist. I'm asking your subconscious mind because your subconscious mind knows everything about you. Your subconscious mind will provide me with the answers to the questions that you brought to the therapy session, and it's a very beautiful experience. After the subconscious mind, I'll take you back through moving out of the hypnosis, and the session will be finished. So QHHT in a nutshell is exactly that. Obviously for 5 or 6 hours we go into a lot of depth. It's very deep. It's an incredible process, but just to give you a little taster of exactly what QHHT means, there it is.